Hey everyone, you're watching VGO 40 and this is VGO Girl, and today we are taking a look at World of Kings and the Cyber Library Dungeon in Overlord mode. Now, if you want the 2-second overview of this, boss 1 and 2 are exactly the same, and if you know the mechanics, you can skip over that. I'm going to go through them just really quick. Boss number 3 is very different, so you probably want to go ahead and skip forward to that if you know the other ones very well. Now, boss number 1, there's not a whole lot you need to know about here. Just avoid the AoEs. If you're DPS and heals, stay in close. It makes the tank's life easier because at one point there is a message that says that the tank needs to, or that the furthest player is going to be targeted. And at that point, it's really important for the tank to move back and take the damage that the boss is giving, and therefore the healer and the DPS don't have to worry about surviving those attacks. Now, moving right along to boss number 2, I want to make a special note. Pay attention to where the bosses are located. There's a purple philosophy boss on your left, a green history boss in front of you, and an orange law boss off to your right. This is important for boss number 3. Okay, this boss is actually fairly simple. It's broken up into 4 segments. Segment 1 is to attack the boss on your left. He turns a solid color from a translucent color, and you attack him until it says turn your back on the Spirit of Philosophy. That is his special attack. So then you move to the next boss and attack him, at which point he becomes a solid color. This is phase number 2. When he turns a solid color, you attack him until he does his special attack, which is to keep moving around. At that point, you move on to boss number 3. This is the 3rd phase, at which point he turns into a solid color and he does his special attack, which is an interrupt. And then moves on to phase number 4, which is one person needs to be at each boss, and there is a set of purple circles that appear, and when those purple circles appear, one person needs to be in front of each boss. Now, don't stand in front of the same boss twice in a row, and so you rotate around, and now you go back to phase number 1. You attack the purple boss, Philosophy, until he gets his message, and then you go to the next boss, and he turns a solid color, and he does his special AoE attack of keep moving, and then you move to the 3rd one where you do an interrupt followed by the 3 circles, one person in each. It's really quite simple. You just move around together, and it's pretty easy. The only thing you need to do is watch to make sure that each of the bosses dies at the same time. So if you are doing DPS to one faster than the other, usually Philosophy needs a little extra love. At that point, you break in the rotation to attack Philosophy a little bit more. Just make sure to go over to Law each time to do the interrupt if you're not doing the rotation at the end correctly. So here you can see one person in each circle, and they get the message over their head. Okay, boss number 3. We actually did probably like 50 takes of this and ended up not passing it, but the principle's correct. The execution was just a bit off. So here I marked each of our DPS with a color: purple, green, and orange. Now, I also found it helpful to put a number 1 purple, matching the purple marker over the purple DPS head, the number 3 marker off to the side, which is orange, matching the orange DPS, and the 2 in the back, which is the green marker for the green DPS. That way they knew where to stand when they were doing their DPS and what to expect. Now, the boss, when he does his thing, he does it at 33% or 66% and 33%. And those are actually, the 66% is fairly easy. Okay, here we are at 66%. Now the boss is going to stop moving. You'll see color circles in each. Now he has a purple under him. You can see there's a DPS with a purple marker in their head, above their head. They're going to stand in the purple circle, and it's going to ask if you want to read the book. Turn off auto attack because it makes it very hard to read if you are trying to auto attack. Next, he has this orange circle under him. So you can see here, I'm going to go into the circle just so I can show you. You've got the read, and you read the book, and that takes care of that. So once it's been read, the circle disappears. It looks like he does 2 of them here, and then they disappear, and we go back to normal DPS. Okay, avoid the AoEs, and healers dispel the green circles or just spread out. Now, for the next phase, it's tanks. You have an important job. In each of the 3 circles, there's a mob. You need to go over and attack each of the mobs so that they don't interrupt the DPS when they are trying to do the circles. Okay, so here I found it easier for me. I have 2 taunts. I just attacked the one next to me and then pulled the other 2 to me, so I had all 3 in the center. Here we have a green circle and a purple circle, so the green person needs to do the green and the purple needs to do the purple. After you do those, it disappears and you will have another set of circles. Here it's purple and orange, and you'll see that the orange does the orange and the purple does the purple. Okay, so here you can see that I have only 1 debuff. This is the orange one for Laws of Justice, and since the purple wasn't triggered, we wiped there. Okay, moving on to the next take of this, you can see here I'm going to gather each of the mobs. That's kind of a better shot of the mobs. I'm going to take the orange because I'm next to it. I'm going to pull the purple over to me, and I'm going to pull the green as well. Now, each of the players are, you can see that somebody has already triggered the orange. So the orange is getting triggered multiple times here, and somebody also has triggered the purple. Those 2 debuffs are in the center of the screen. The green is not triggered, so we don't wipe. Here the orange is triggered again, and there's the green one just came up, and so those 2 are good. And when that section stops, we're going to get 2 more. And here we have the next 2 colors coming up. We have purple and green, and here we have the looks like the green and maybe the orange one came up. There's the purple, and we missed the green. Okay, so at the end of those, if they don't have the right buffs up, it's not going to work. Also, I recommend spamming your color over and over until it disappears so that you definitely have your color up when the boss does his final, okay, who's got their buffs up. Going through that, actually in the dungeons, I did not see the buffs, so it's really helpful to be able to see what's going on with the buffs there. So you're watching VGO 40, and this is VGO Girl, and hopefully you found this helpful and you will be able to beat the Cyber Library Overlord dungeon. We'll see you next time in World of Kings.